Excuse me, we'll be starting in about 2 minutes. If you could mute your cell phones or turn them off, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
(7:30).
Good evening and welcome to the Clark Township Public Council meeting. It is Monday, November 20th, 7:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Here.
Councilman Hund.
Here.
Councilman Mazzarella is absent. Councilman Minetti.
Here.
Councilman O'Connor.
Here.
Councilman Toll.
Here.
Council President Smith.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, as adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing the annual schedule of meetings to the Star-Ledger, Union County Hawk, Union County Local Source, and Tappan to Clark, by posting such annual meeting schedule on the bulletin board and town hall reserved for such announcements, the official website of the township, and the proper filing of said notice. Formal action may be taken at this meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We're going to move to reports of council committees. All reports given tonight are on file in the clerk's office. Councilwoman Albanese.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight I'd like to give the library report provided by our director, Megan Kalachik. As you may know, we have joined the LMXAC consortium, which makes us a member and gives us access to the largest library collection of media in the state of New Jersey. There is also, she wanted me to share with you that there is an app you can use called LMX Press Plus, and this enables you to manage your library account, browse the catalog, place holds, and also to put a digital library card on your phone. The Friends of the Library have generously acquired 7 museum passes. Passes are available to citizens of Clark. with the library card. So please look into that. Some new passes have been added this year, and we thankfully appreciate the gifts from the Friends of the Library. Some upcoming events. The Evening Lego Club will meet on Monday, November 27th from 6:30 to 7:45. This is for children, grades K through 5. They will work together to make their own creations. Books and Bagels Club will meet Thursday, November 30th at 10 a.m. To discuss books they've been reading and also discover reading preferences of others that can be shared. Little Scientist program will be held on November 30th at 3:30 p.m. And in each of these sessions, there'll be a different experiment covering various STEM skills. On Monday, December 11th, from 10 to 12, the Union County Aging Services Kiosk will be at the library, and a specialist will be there to answer any questions you might have and on how to use that kiosk. The Teen Advisory Board's been very active, and they'll be meeting. They've been meeting to recommend various programs at the library for teens, and they will be meeting on Monday, December 11th at 3:15 p.m. And at this meeting, they'll be providing pizza, so if you're interested, please RSVP so they can order the pizza in advance for the occasion. As always, the library staff is committed to providing and engaging and providing educational opportunities for the entire community. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Hund.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the police report for the clerk. Monthly report for October 2023. I saw a total of 2,793 calls for services, of which 145 were ambulance requests, 6 were fire department requests, 2 were criminal mischief, 8 were motor vehicle residential lockouts, 92 were alarm calls, 86 were motor vehicle accidents, and 2,429 were miscellaneous calls. There was a total of 25 adult arrests, including but not limited to 17 for theft, 2 for DUI, 1 for disorderly conduct. There was a total of 17 juvenile arrests in October, including but not limited to 1 for simple assault, 1 for motor vehicle theft, 2 for shoplifting, 4 for harassment, and 1 bias incident, and 3 for offenses against the family. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Councilman Minetti.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be doing a DPW report on behalf of Councilman Mazzarella this month. Grass pickup, as you know, is completed for 2023. However, grass can be mixed with leaves and now placed curbside, leaving 1 foot for the rainwater. Appliances, bulky metal and branch pickup, excuse me, are complete for 2023. Leaf pickup will continue through December 15th. Please have your leaves curbside. And the DPW has asked me to remind all our residents not to mix the branches with our leaves, as they will not be picked up. And then finally, please remove all the nets from the roadways to avoid damage to our equipment. And this allows for the street sweepers, leaf equipment, and snow plows when it does snow. That concludes the DPW report. For the Clark Fire Department report, in the month of October, the Clark Fire Department responded to 52 calls, totaling 437 for the year. The calls include but are not limited to numerous odor and alarm calls, 3 calls for mutual aid, 7 calls related to motor vehicle-related incidents. As always, I'd like to thank the members of the Clark Fire Department for their hard work and dedication in keeping our town safe. And finally, I would like to acknowledge and thank all the members of the fire department for their Halloween drive, handing out candy to our trick-or-treaters. I thought it was great, and I just want to thank them for that. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you. From the Finance Committee, the Township continues to be able to meet its current obligations. And from the Emergency Squad, the squad is in the process of acquiring Township IDs and is grateful for the support in this matter. There are 110 calls in October with 10 mutual aid calls, 8 in Terrell, 1 Avenel, 1 Mountainside. This does not include any calls that were dispatched and canceled. Total hours responding to calls is approximately 825 hours. This does not include, of course, any hours the members were on duty when calls were not being made. Year-to-date call volume is 1,083. For those of you who would like to assist the squad but may not have the time to be in EMT training, we are accepting applications for people who are interested in becoming drivers for the ambulance. Must be 18 years of age with a clear driving record. Anyone interested can email the squad at membership@clarkems.org. And the squad continues to service community by providing standbys at the high school football game. And that was submitted by Lori Sheldon, who is a trustee of the squad. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Toll.
Mr. President, no official report tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you. From the Pool and Recreation Department, the annual Winter Festival with the Christmas tree and menorah lighting will be held on Saturday, November 25th from 3 to 6 p.m. across the street in the parking lot of the Brewer Municipal Building. The rain date is Sunday from 3 to 6. There will be plenty of pony rides, horse-drawn carriages, carolers, refreshments, and musicians and school bands, and obviously pictures with Santa Claus in the front gym. The annual Breakfast with Santa will be held this Sunday, November 26th at the Grand Centurions. There are 3 reserved seatings starting at 8 a.m., 9:15 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. The event is completely sold out, so if you do not have a ticket, please do not come, as you will not be allowed entrance into the Grand Centurions. Hence the other reason most people come for pictures with Santa, and we do have Santa Claus across the street during the Winter Holiday Festival. And that concludes my report. We'll move on to ordinances, appropriations, and claims.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the record, no objections have been received in connection with the proposed ordinances. First ordinance is 23-30, an ordinance to amend Section 33 of Chapter 347 of the Code of the Township of Clark, entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
Thank you. At this time, I will open up the public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only. So 5 minutes of duration regarding this ordinance 23-30. Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Albanese. Get a second. Thank you, Councilman Hund. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? At this time, I'd like a motion to a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti. Can I get a second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Jim, do you have anything to add on this?
I mean, this was a request from the citizens of the area. It went to the traffic committee, discussions with the police department, determined that it was warranted, and so we're looking for your support. That's it.
Great, thank you.
And that's at the intersection of Grandview and Carolina Street.
Yes, that one is. Yeah.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Ordinance 23-31 is an ordinance amending Part 2 General Legislation, adding a Chapter 307 entitled Privately Owned Salt Storage Facilities to the ordinances of the Township of Clark.
Thank you. At this time, I will open up the public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come forward and have any questions, you have 5 minutes of duration. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Councilman Albanese first, Councilman Minetti second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Just on this ordinance. Could you get a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Albanese. Get a second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Jim, you have anything to add on this?
This ordinance is coming from the state to control salt infiltration into the stormwater system, and it just delineates the controls that the private salt storage needs to have in place between barricades, covers, et cetera, to make sure that it doesn't get into the stormwater system.
All right. Thank you for the explanation. Anyone else have any questions up here? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Ordinance 23-32 is an ordinance to amend Article 1 of Chapter 306 of the Code of the Township of Clark entitled Stormwater Management.
Okay, at this time, I will open a public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come forward, you'll have 5 minutes or duration, and please state your name and address to the clerk. Anyone like to come forward on this ordinance? Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing. Thank you, Councilman O'Connor, and second, Councilman Hunn. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, at this time, I will direct a motion to adopt the ordinance. Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Second, thank you, Councilman Hunn. Jim, you have anything?
Yeah, this is another state requirement. It, high level, it minimizes the adverse impact of runoff, how to control solid and floating waste that's in the runoff, the proper allocation of stormwater basins, site development plan requirements, and site analysis and how it affects stormwater. It's, again, another one of the state laws that, has been put in place, and we're implementing it as part of our ordinance.
Thank you for the explanation. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Ordinance 23-33 is an ordinance amending Part 2, Chapter 338, entitled Trees of the Ordinances of the Township of Clark.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the meeting to the public hearing on this ordinance. If anyone would like to come forward, please state your name and address to the clerk, and you'll have 5 minutes or duration. Okay, seeing nobody coming forward on this ordinance, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you, Councilman Toll, and second, Councilwoman Albanese. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This time, I'll direct a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti. Jim, you have anything to add on this?
Yeah, just in summary, this is an ordinance, another one that's coming from the state requiring replacement of trees, what the diameter needs to be based on the diameter of the tree that's being replaced and the number of trees to replace it, and also establishing a permitting fee of $30, for each one of these permits.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted.
Okay, when you're ready, we'll move to introduction of proposed ordinances.
First ordinance is 23-34, an ordinance to amend and supplement Section 2 entitled Fees of Chapter 122 entitled Construction Codes Uniform of the Code of the Township of Clark.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Can I get a second?
Second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Jim, you have anything?
Yeah, so this ordinance is just being updated for elevator inspection requirements and also for electronic permitting fees as per the DCA. And, we're moving closer to having full submission of plans. There are 2 assembly builds, as we've discussed. One of the frustrations is to actually get plans submitted online. But there are 2 assembly bill, an assembly and a Senate bill right now pending approval to require electric and plumbing electronic signatures. Once that happens, we will be 100% online to be able to accept plans, accept permits, and inspections all done online. So we no longer have to make phone calls or actually even stop into the construction office.
Great, thank you. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
The public hearing on this ordinance will be December 18th.
Okay, number 6.
Ordinance 23-35 is an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain land in the Township of Clark to be sold at private sale in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-13B5.
I get a motion? Thank you, Councilman Nitti, and Councilman Hund, second. Jim, you have anything to add? I believe it's a $75,000 minimum.
Yeah, there's a $75,000 minimum as established by our tax assessor. The properties between 314 and 326 Valley Road, it's actually at the end of Longfellow Lane. There's 4 properties that border this one property, and as we've been discussing, to reduce the amount of maintenance for DPW on properties that are not being used for, parks or any public use, we're looking to sell them if there's interested residents in that area, and give them the opportunity to either expand their property or anything within code to improve it.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Manitti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance will also be December 18th.
Great, thank you. Now we're going to move along to payment of claims.
Yes, I have reviewed the bills for the month totaling $222,859.23. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Okay, at this time, we will move to the citizens' hearing on the agenda. I'll open the meeting to the public. This is on agenda items only. If you'd like to come up and speak about anything that is listed on tonight's agenda, please do so. You'll have 5 minutes of duration. Please give your name and name and address to the clerk. Anyone like to come forward on the agenda items? Okay, at this time, I'd like a motion to close this portion.
I'm
sorry, Councilman O'Connor first and Councilwoman Albanese second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're going to move to resolutions.
The first resolution is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $6,300 for the Greening Union County Grant.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Albanese. Any discussion? Or Jim, you have anything?
Yeah, this is a matching grant with the county, and we're going to be planting 24 trees throughout the town to replace a lot of the trees that have been either killed or damaged throughout the years.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Manitti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $24,072 for the Kids Recreation Trust Fund grant.
Get a motion?
I'd like to move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Albanese. Any discussion up here? Or Jim, do you have anything to add?
Now, this is another one of the matching grants. We are going to be putting additional play equipment in Veterans Field. There's going to be play boards, there's going to be tune drums, flowers, and there was one other thing, spinners. And, we're going to hopefully have them probably early spring, so they'll be ready for the summer.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Manitti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. Number 9, when you're ready.
Number 9 is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $3,646 for the Municipal Alliance Youth Leadership Grant.
You get a motion? Thank you, Councilman Manitti. Get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Albanese. Any discussion up here or questions? Jim, you have anything to add?
This is just adding $343 to what we already had.
Correct. Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Manitti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 10 is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $13,194 for the Municipal Alliance DEDR grant.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Albanese. Get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Any discussion? Questions up here? Jim?
I mean, similar. We're just adding $1,221 to the original grant of $11,970.
But did the county get additional money from the state and they increased the grants?
Not sure where they came up with it, but they had excess funds, and why, I don't know, but they're distributing throughout the county.
Great.
I think this is the time of year when they issue them.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 11 is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $1,065.99 for the National Opioid Settlement.
Get a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Albanese. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Any discussion or questions up here? Jim, same thing?
No, I mean, we're just, we're adding it. Currently, we have about $22,000 worth of opioid funds. We're working with the police department on the best way to deploy those funds to, help the affected individuals or community programs. And, I mean, there's only 10 different things that we can use it for, so it's very specific on what the uses could be.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 12 is authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with Phoenix Tower International for the operation of the wireless telecommunications facility.
You get a motion?
I'd like to move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Get a second?
I can second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Any questions up here? Jim, you have anything to add to this?
I'll go into a little bit of detail on this. As we met with the Finance Committee a couple of weeks ago, just to go over, the whole proposal. So the tower over here, it's a cell phone tower. We signed an agreement in 2014 that expired in 2039. In 2021, it was renegotiated to expire in 2049. The lease runs throughout that period, but each time you have a 6-month notice period for a 5-year extension. Our next extension is 2024, and they're looking to extend. One of the things is, as technology changes, there will be less use for towers like that. And the Phoenix Tower came to us with an offer of $576,000 to buy us out of our lease. We determined that wasn't appropriate. We wanted additional funds and work through the process. We went back to them and we ended up settling on $625,000. Currently, the lease payments are $3,217.17, and there's a 3% annual escalation. As we looked into it, we don't know when and if they would ever, not pay it or, not renew it until we just have a tower for nothing. One of the things that we looked at is what the net present value of that money would be. It's going to be approximately $774,000. So we're getting $625 for net present value of $775,000, give or take. In addition to that, just a straight cash, it will be somewhere, if we just took what we're getting paid now in the 3% escalation, it would take us to about mid-2037. So that guarantees us, what the money would have been through 2037 with the risk on the tail end. And, given what we were having the discussions, we don't know what's going to happen. So I think at this point, it makes sense to, as we discussed with the Finance Committee, but at this point, I think it makes sense to take their offer, and this way we get the money into the coffers, we guarantee the money, and we don't have to worry about, future technology advances to make that obsolete. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you for the explanation. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 13 is approving the council meeting schedule for 2024.
I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Albanese. Get a second?
Second that, please.
Any discussion up here? Standard operating procedure, just the
This will
meetings.
save time from the last long explanation. This will be a quick one.
Great. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 14 is approving the 2024 holiday schedule.
I get a motion, please?
I'll move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hunn. Any discussion or questions up here? Okay, I don't think you need to explain anything on the holiday schedule, so roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 15 is authorizing the mayor and/or business administrator to execute the risk management consultants agreement as required by the New Jersey Municipal Self-Insurers Joint Insurance Fund with World Insurance Associates for 2024.
Get a motion?
I'll move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hunn. Get a second?
Second?
Thank you, Councilwoman Albanese. Any discussion up here? Jim, you want to add anything?
Well, this is a normal standard order of business that we need to have a risk manager for our insurance. It's a percentage of our insurance paid. The state standard is 6%. We actually negotiated a 4%, so we're, with 2% less than the state standard, and we were paying last year 6%, so we actually got a 2% decrease year on year.
Great, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 16 is authorizing the purchase of one Chevrolet Malibu for use by the construction department in the amount of $26,247.60.
Okay, you get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Albanese. Get a second? Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Any discussion or questions up here? Jim?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a construction car, so when they go to the plumbing, fire inspector, electrical inspector, code official goes in, does inspections. This is just to replace some of the older cars.
And it's through the Cranford Cooperative Pricing, correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. Okay, we'll move along when you're ready to consent agenda resolutions.
Yes, number 17 is appointing special law enforcement officers effective January 1st, 2024. 18 through 21 are all authorizing the provision of a grant pursuant to the Township of Clark Affordability Assistance Program for the tenant of an affordable housing unit at the following addresses: 25 Walnut Avenue, Unit 124, 25 Walnut Avenue, Unit 206, 25 Walnut Avenue, Unit 223, 25 Walnut Avenue, Unit 224. Number 22 is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of sewer fees in the amount of $1,228.25. And 23 is authorizing the tax collector to apply sewer account balance adjustments as credit in the amount of $2,250.
Great, thank you. Can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second.
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Roll call.
Councilwoman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. Is there any new business on the calendar?
There is no new business.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to move to public comments. I'll open the meeting to the public. Each person addressing the council shall give their name and address to the clerk. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. If anyone would like to come forward, please do.
Hello, my name is Mary Semler. I reside at 56 Conger Way. The last time I appeared in this room before this body, I told a story about my mother and her aide, who was pulled over by the police on 2 separate occasions, one day and then the following day, and held on the road the second day for 2 hours with a claim that there was possibly a warrant for her arrest, which was not true because she was pulled over the day before. So I am here to say that after the Attorney General's report today, it does appear that the chickens have come home to roost. I am here today because I think this is a terrible stain on our community, on our mayor, and our council. I think the cover-up should end at this point. It's never the crime, it's always the cover-up. I'm not a lawyer, but I've heard plenty of people say that. I have been a public employee for 41 years, my entire adult life. I am proud of every day that I have spent on the job and served the people of this state. I don't know that each one of you can say that to yourselves. You don't have to tell me. You should just be honest with yourself about that. But honestly, no one who is a public employee should be able to conduct themselves in a manner that the people who have been entrusted with the welfare of this town should be able to do. I mean, this is really just a terrible, terrible day for our community. And I'm not up here with anger, I'm up here with sadness. But I'm also up here to make a promise to you. I am going to do everything within my power to change this body and the leadership of this town. And I will stop at nothing until we make inroads to find a balance and find people that represent all of this town and not just some of the people in this town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Mark Semler from 56 Conger Way. Does anybody know where the mayor is? Doesn't he usually sit over here?
He does. He's an invited guest to the meeting, and obviously he's not here this evening.
You know why?
You'd have to ask him.
Funny.
Good evening, councilmen and councilwomen. My name is Michelle Gargiulo. I am over on Hayes Avenue in Clark. I'm kind of winging this today. The girl who was a little more versed in this couldn't be here. So I'm going to just speak on the behalf of some Henley parents. I'm a Henley parent to a second grader over at the elementary school. And for some time now, our playground has just not been, it's not up to our standards. Right now, there is a piece of plywood that is blocking a slide that is no longer in use. The plywood is unsafe, and it's been there since the spring. It's been brought up numerous times, so I've heard. This is my first time here, and still nothing is done. From a piece of plywood for 3 seasons now that our children play on, bordering, excuse me, I don't even think it's the end of the slide, the top. It's dangerous. It's at the top, excuse me. I feel that this poses, not that I feel, I know that this poses potential negligence on our town, especially if a child is hurt. And it needs to be taken care of. We did have there was a parent whose name I don't want to mention at the moment, whose, I guess, father works for a playground service. They went last week to check out the playground and basically has told us that the playground is not up to code. So now I have an unsafe piece of plywood where a slide should exist, and our playground is not up to code. So as a parent, obviously I'm feeling upset about this, as I know most of us are. I want to know, yes?
May I interrupt you one
Absolutely.
second? Being it's on the school grounds, it is a Board of Ed issue. So when the meeting's over, if you can give the clerk your name and number.
Absolutely.
We'll have the business administrator reach out to Ed Grande, the superintendent, and bring up your concerns to him.
Okay.
But obviously, I mean, it is a township property, but it is owned by the Board of Ed and run by the Board of Ed.
I see.
So we'll.
I did hear that that avenue there was some emails exchanged with that as well, so I guess this is just, I just want it to be heard through, Clark in general, that our kids are going to this school and they deserve better than this. We have, guys just spoke about a grant, a $24,000 grant for a kid's recreation when our playground is unsafe. So we have to have priorities here. What can we do? And I'm not trying to attack anybody, I want to be part of the solution. What can we do, myself as a parent and the townspeople, to elevate the situation, to get to where we need to be? What funds do we have to raise? What avenues do we have to go? I just want to know what we can do. I want it to be, understood that this needs to happen for our children, because we've been waiting, and it's not working. So we need to, not wait anymore. I guess that's it.
Okay.
You want to say something? Are you good? Oh, we also have a photo. I don't know if we could just pass that along, of a concern of some vandalism that was on the slide, that has been etched into the slide, that we don't really want to make a thing. But
we will contact, or Jim will contact Ed Grande, who's the Board of Ed, and we'll follow up. And then if you, like I said, when the meeting ends, if you want to give your information to the clerk, maybe she can give you some follow-up information or contact information.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming forward.
And just on a happier note, our Cub Scout den visited the wonderful firemen this past Saturday, and I want to say thank you to our amazing firemen for taking the time to teach our local scouts how to be good citizens and what they do. Just because since I had the floor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel Fuchs, 333 Carolina. So a few months ago I spoke and I expressed my dismay with the nearly 10% increase in our taxes. As usual, nobody had anything to say, except one, Mr. Toldit. You spoke passionately about how much you care about every dollar that is spent in this town. You took a dollar out of your pocket and you slammed it on the counter. I have asked for anybody to comment on the mayor's behavior over the last year and a half. If you don't care about his behavior, if you don't care about what he says or the way he acts and the way he represents this town, we all know how much he has cost us up to this point. And now we're going to have to foot the bill for more legal bills. If you really cared and you're going to slam a dollar on the table, you need to speak up. You need to tell us what you think. I'd like to think that everyone up here is incredibly unhappy with the mayor, but the investigation's over. You said you were not going to comment until the investigation was over, but it's over now. We saw more than we even knew about. I think it's time that you speak up. He's got to go. He's an embarrassment to his town. Again, if you don't care about what he's saying, he's costing us so much money. The police that were sitting doing nothing for years cost us it's millions of dollars. We're not a big town. That hits a lot of us. It's all of us. It's a lot of money. So please speak up. Stop enabling him. It's time to step up, Mr. Toll. If you care about every dollar that goes out, you have to say something here. Enough is enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fuchs.
Michael Schulman, 382 Carolina Street. I hope the mayor knows that if he fails to appear in court, there are repercussions for that. But I guess tonight he can hide behind his right to remain silent, because our mayor is criminally charged. And I stood here 18 months ago and called him a criminal. And I don't have a magic ball, I don't have a funny hat, but the future was not hard to predict. What was hard to predict is that he's not criminally charged for the absolute abuse of power he exercised with the settlement agreement, but because of the abuse of power he did by using his office to better his own company. He's now facing charges that require, if found guilty, state prison, official misconduct. And I agree with Mr. Fuchs. You sat there for 18 months and said, let the investigation go. Because you were all under subpoena from the grand jury. I believe all of you, but Mr. Minetti maybe, who wasn't on council at the time, you were under subpoena. You're not anymore. The investigation's over. Make a statement. Explain why somebody who was torn a new one by our Attorney General, 42 pages, talking about how the town, the mayor, Mr. Dugan and his predecessor, Mr. Triarci, engaged in a cover-up of epic proportion that cost this town millions of dollars, as well as a ridiculously harsh, what's the word I'm looking for, slap in the face in terms of reputation. It affirmed what lots of people thought about this town in terms of how it deals with race. And you sat there silently, and you sit there now with the smug faces, and it's incredibly disappointing. Now, maybe you didn't have time to digest the 42-page report that came out this morning, but it indicates that there are many referrals that are going to be made. This isn't even over. It's not over because, as I said, the mayor's got to face criminal charges. He's going to Elizabeth in a few weeks for a first appearance. And this town, for some reason, is footing his legal bill again for charges he sustained as an individual.
May I interrupt?
Go ahead, Mr. Dugan.
The town is not paying for the mayor's defense. That would be improper, and the township is not paying for the mayor's defense.
There was
unequivocally not paying for the mayor's defense.
So the firm that was retained last meeting, that the resolution went forward.
That is not the mayor's firm. That firm was retained for a different purpose.
Okay.
It was not retained to defend the mayor from these charges.
Not only is the town going to have to deal with a mayor who's now charged criminally, there have been referrals, and excuse me while I quote the report here, to the Civil Division to investigate the claims of bias, the Pension and Benefits, and State Controller for how the money and the insurance settlement was handled, and the Attorney Ethics Committee, Mr. Dugan. There's a lot in here about your predecessor, not you, but your predecessor, who you have to stand in the shoes of, sitting on that dais. Because the only reason why the mayor's not charged criminally for the settlement is because the Attorney General's office felt that he had enough of a defense to say, my attorney told me it was okay. It's literally what's in the report. But for bad advice from the town attorney that he followed, he'd be charged for that as well. And what's insulting is that our town attorney either didn't know the law, and you guys kept appointing him, or he knew enough to make sure the mayor wouldn't be personally liable and criminally charged. We should not have a mayor who was under criminal charges representing this town. It is disgusting that he took advantage of his position for personal gain, on top of being the bigot that he's proven to be, on top of being the racist he is. And I want to quote one more thing, if I can pull it up, if I can have one moment. The settlement agreement entered into by the township used public funds to conceal individual misdeeds. The use of funds benefited the individuals who were party to the potential lawsuit. But here's the key, but was detrimental to the institutional reputation of the local government. The actions of the mayor and anyone who helped him was detrimental to this town. And if that is not deserving of getting rid of him, I have no idea what is.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, seeing no one else coming forward, I have a motion to close this portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Albanese. Get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Manitti. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Closing comments. Angel, you have any?
Yes, at our November 6th meeting, we welcomed a new member to the Clark Fire Department volunteers, Emma Lassay, and I'd like to wish her luck in her duties, and we thank her for her service. Also, in addition to the activities that Council President Smith mentioned earlier this evening, on Friday at 9 a.m., if you're interested in decorating the town hall for the event on Sunday, the tree lighting, you can stop by at 9 a.m. See Ralph Bernardo and the team of volunteers that each year come, and we thank them all for making the holiday celebration so wonderful for all the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hund.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Manid.
Thank you, Council President. Again, just a reminder, looking forward to seeing everybody on Saturday as it pertains to our Christmas tree lighting from 3 to 6 over at the Town Hall across the street, and the Christmas breakfast. And again, just wishing you and all your families a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you. Rather than be repetitive, I'll just say have a very nice Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Councilman Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. Those we've lost in the last month: Raymond Vasula, Mrs. Josephine Gertrude-Zabaro, John Giorino, 71-year resident of Clark, and Victor DeMarzo, who was the director of the Teen Center at the William Harrison Teen Center, longtime Clark Police Special Officer, and he was a longtime detective, over 25 years in the Clark PD. To Carmel, his wife, to his daughters Kelly and Angela, he was somebody who touched a lot of lives in this town. He left a legacy. We will never forget his dedication to the job of keeping Clark safe and being there for everyone at a moment's notice. The holidays are approaching, 41 days left in the calendar year 2023, and in your travels for all of your holiday 23 shopping gifts, and food, spirits, and every other thing that goes with the holidays, I ask you to shop Clark, buy Clark. Keep the business and your dollars in the town. It helps the community out. Please spend your much-earned, hard-earned money and buy Clark. Shop Clark, the stores, the food stores, do it all here. There's other beautiful stores elsewhere, but Clark comes first. That's all I've got. We'll work through all this, and we'll get back to where we were supposed to be. Thank you. Have a happy holiday.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Madam Clerk, you have anything?
Happy Thanksgiving to all.
Thank you for your hard work on the election night. I know it's a long day for you and your staff.
Thank you.
And the county clerk and her whole department. Jim, do you have anything to add?
Just wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, Counselor, you have anything to add?
Same thing. I'm very, very happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Just a reminder, the holiday festival is this Saturday, 3 to 6. It's a great day out for the citizens of the town. Hopefully we'll see you there. And at this time, I'd like a motion to close. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Councilman Albanese for second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.